Greetings, YouTube. The Doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons and Dragons. And today we are going to be talking about the new Unearthed Arcana subclass pack that came out, but particularly we're only going to be going through these one at a time. And we are starting with the Arcana Domain Cleric. So if you don't know where to go to find these on the D&D Beyond site, I've got it up here. It's under Sources, Dungeons & Dragons, Unearthed Arcana. You can see the first one there. So we got a lot to go through, a lot to look at, a lot to compare and contrast. Don't go anywhere and stay tuned. All right, before we begin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or comment. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. All right, so let's take a look here at the base Unearthed Arcana class. So the announcement came out. It's open until July 3rd. It came out 2 days ago. Here, they got a little video, the playtest material, and then you can download it. So that, you can get all of these. It comes down as a document, and then all of the different subclasses in there. We're going to be talking about particularly the Arcana Domain subclass for the Cleric. Now, this is the old legacy one, and I'll just read the first sentence. Magic is an energy that suffuses the multiverse and that fuels both destruction and creation. So, if you worship a god of magic, you could take this Arcane Domain as part of your base class at, of course, with the new rules at 3rd level. And with that, you automatically prepared a certain number of spells. And this has carried over into the new subclass. So these are the old ones. So Detect Magic, Magic Missile, those are okay. Magic Weapon and Nissil's Magic Aura. Dispel Magic was an integral part of this class. Magic Circle was in here. I would have liked to have seen Counterspell. Arcane Eye was in here. That's a good one. Liamon's Secret Chest, not so much. Planar Binding. When you combine that with Magic Circle, that one was good. And Teleportation Circle was good. So you got all of those. In addition, you got training. You got proficiency in Arcana, and you got to pick 2 cantrips. Okay. Then your Channel Divinity got this thing called Arcane Abjuration. And as an action, you present your holy symbol, and one celestial, elemental, fiend, or fey of your choice within 30 feet has to make a wisdom saving throw, and they're essentially turned, which that was really good. So you could turn undead, and then you could turn all these things, and that was a major plot point for this particular class. And then finally, after 5th level, when a creature fails its saving throw against your abjuration, then you could banish it. But it had to be below a certain CR, which these are not really high. I mean, CR4 for 17th level characters, that's pretty pathetic. You got Spellbreaker. This was another go-to one. So starting at 6th level, when you restore hit points to an ally with a spell of 1st level or higher, you also could end one effect of a spell of your choice. You just ended it. That was it. The level of the spell you end must be equal to or lower than the level of the spell slot you use to cast a spell. So if you cast a 3rd level healing spell, like a 3rd level Cure Wounds, then you could dispel a 3rd level spell on them. That was pretty massive. And then starting at 8th level, you could add your Wisdom modifier to a Cleric cantrip, and add the capstone 17th level power was you choose 4 spells from the Wizard's list, 1 of each of the following. You add them to your domain spells, which is nice. So that was pretty cool. So all in all, I would probably give this a B-. It's not fantastic. It's got some really, really good features to it, but they just weren't like, I'm going to end combat. Although the Channel Divinity one with the Arcane Abjuration could, but it's very situational. Okay, so let's take a look at the new, and this is what the document looks like, by the way. It says Unearthed Arcana 2025 Arcane Subclasses. It tells you what's inside. It tells you that this is playtest material. This playtest document is part of a series of Unearthed Arcana articles that present material designed for upcoming products. I want to know what those upcoming products are. They've had several of these come out now, and they have told us nothing about any upcoming products that they are going to be in. So I want to know about that. So here is the Arcana Domain Cleric, which blends conviction with arcane power. So we're going to go over this one real quick and rate it, and then we're going to compare, and we're going to look at how each one of these interacts with the base class, and then we're going to compare and contrast them. So they give some design notes and updates. They've changed a few things. So you get your Arcana Domain spells, and they did change these spells list. So Detect Magic's still there, yes. Magic Missile is still there, yes. Now you get Magic Weapon and Nistel's Magic Aura at 3rd level, because these are 3rd level, so you have 1st and 2nd level spells. None of that has changed. So you got that when you were the old Arcana Domain. Now at 5th level, you get Counterspell and Dispel Magic. So they got rid of Magic Circle and they put Counterspell in. I actually like that. Counterspell is going to be used way more often than Magic Circle, and it is a way more useful spell than Magic Circle. Then you get Arcane Eye and Liamin's Chest. Don't care about that. And at 9th level, you get Bigby's Hand. Again, another awesome spell with Teleportation Circle. So I think the changes they made in the prepared spells, that's choice. That actually will bump up the rating for this quite a bit. All right, you get the Arcane Knowledge. So you get you gain proficiency in Arcana if you don't already had it. And you also gain expertise in the Arcana. So that's kind of an extra. That's good, too. You get the 2 wizard cantrips. And then whenever you gain a cleric level, you can replace one of these cantrips with another cantrip. That's just kind of a little extra flavor. At level 3, instead of your Channel Divinity Abjuration, now you use it to alter your spells when you cast them. So when you cast a spell, you can expend 1 use of your Channel Divinity, which you get 2 per short rest, and change the spell in one of the following ways. You can fortify it. So when you cast a spell, one target of the spell gains a number of temporary hit points equal to 2d8 plus your cleric level. So that means that when you heal someone, you can drop, on average, 9 hit points of temporary hit points plus your cleric level. That's not too bad. It's probably going to be about 10 to 12 on average. 10 to 12 temporary hit points. And then the second one is the big one. When you cast a spell that forces a creature to make a saving throw, choose one target of the spell you can see. Roll a d6 and apply the number as a penalty to the target's saving throw. Now, this is different than the Abjuration Channel Divinity, where you could essentially turn Fae, Fiends, and Elementals. Now you don't get that anymore. That's gone. But you can cast spells and you can give them a penalty, usually twice per combat, a penalty to their saving throw. Now that in itself, I think, is, if we looked at a risk assessment matrix type of thing where we had severity versus frequency, the abjuration thing is going to be pretty high severity, but I think the frequency is going to be fairly low. Whereas if we look at the severity and frequency for a tenacious spell, that's going to get used every time. So the frequency is going to be extremely high versus not as impactful. So I think those two things wash out, but you do get the extra thing with the fortify spell. So there's more than one thing. So I actually think it is quite a bit better than that. Because if you're going up against a monstrous beast or a giant, that abjuration is just worthless. They're not undead, and they're not within the Fey Fiend elemental, so you're just kind of stuck. And celestial, so you're kind of stuck. Okay, then at 6th level, you get Dispelling Recovery immediately after you cast a spell with a spell slot that restores hit points to a creature or ends a condition on the creature. You can Dispel Magic. This is as a bonus action. So this is a nerf to that ability. So if we look here, and we look at the Spellbreaker, when you restore hit points to an ally with a spell of 1st level or higher, you can also end one spell of your choice on that creature. The level of the spell must be equal to or lower than the spell slot that you used. So This is now a Dispel Magic, which requires a check if it fits within the parameters of Dispel Magic, and it's a bonus action. So they put some riders on that. It's not gone automatically, and it's not gone for free. And then you can use this feature a number of times a day equal to your Wisdom modifier, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So you should have an 18, so you can use this 4 times a day or more. With this one, this was whenever you did it. So they nerfed that pretty hard. And then the potent spell casting is gone. That's not here anymore. I don't see it. And Arcane Mastery has now, it's basically the same. You learn 4 wizard spells, 1 from each level, 6, 7, 8, 9. You thereafter always have those spells prepared. Whenever you gain a cleric level, you can replace one of these spells with another wizard level. And I think that is exactly the same. Yes, that's exactly the same. So that is it for this class. What am I going to give this one? Well, what things do I like about it? One, I like that they changed the spells up. Counterspell and Big B's Hand, big additions to these. So I think that bumps this from a B- to a B. We have the Arcane Knowledge, which gives us expertise, and I don't believe that you got expertise here. Yeah, you just got the Arcana spell. That was it. So that's a bump. Now, is it a bump to get it to B+? Probably not. You learn 2 wizard cantrips, and you can replace these. That's kind of the same. I do like the Fortify and the Tenacious spell. I think it's going to have a better ability to do things and it'll happen more frequently than the Abjuration. So I'm going to bump this to a B+ because of that. And then Dispelling Recovery got nerfed. So we're going to bump this back down to a B, and Arcane Mastery didn't really change. So let's move this over to a B now. So it did get somewhat of an improvement player-wise. So if you're looking to be this, it's a B. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean that there are other cleric domains that are better? Probably. There are probably ones that are better than that. And we'll look at those particular subclasses and we'll rate them. So how does this interact with the base class? Because the base class cleric is right up here. We want to go back to classes, and they both pretty much interact with the base class the same way. We get our you get your spells. You get your spell casting, you have your prepared spells, you have your divine order. That doesn't really alter this at all. Your channeled divinities will feed into your tenacious spell and your fortify spell. You have your divine spark, so as a magic action you can do that. But I would rather use the channeled divinity. So you can use a class's channeled divinity twice. You regain 1 use when you finish a short rest, and you regain all when you do a long rest. You gain additional uses when you reach certain cleric levels. So let's see, they got channeled divinity up here. So you start getting 3 of those at 6th level. And that's basically 3. But 3 tenacious spells where you are applying a D6 as a penalty to like hold person. That's awesome. So I think those are good, and you can always turn undead as a base cleric, and then you get your improvements, you get your seer undead, you get your blessed strikes. You can have the potent spell casting. I think that's why they took that out, because it's here. You get your divine intervention, you get your improved blessed strike, all that stuff. So I don't think it normally improves, nor does it take away from the base class. All right, that is what I have for everybody today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody